Welcome to this another session of Digital Vidya seminars. To be updated about the latest trends in marketing, Digital Vidya is your go-to place. We have a great research department which is always on top of the game to bring you the latest research in the online marketing space. So today we have with us Diptarap Chakrabarti, who's with us, who'll be speaking on the topic emerging trends in marketing and the role of artificial intelligence and data science in it. So to tell you something about Diptarap, he is a veteran in the field of digital marketing. Diptarap is a tech marketing leader with around 19 plus years of experience, and worked with IT majors like IBM, Gartner, Gemini, and MarTech. Presently, he's heading the global marketing function at Zygus, and he has a team of more than 50 marketers with him for working day and night to produce results for Zygus. So Diptarap will be presenting to his case now for around 35 to 40 minutes, and we will hold the question and answer session at the end. So note all your questions and answers would be solved at the end. So give all your questions, reserve them towards the end of the webinar. And let's give things over to Diptarap. That's it from my side. Over to you, Diptarap. You may start your presentation now.
Hi, good afternoon, folks, and thank you for joining this webinar. And thank you, Mir, for the lovely introduction. So the topic today is emerging trends in marketing, impact of AI and data science. Before I go to the next slide, I must inform and must warn that this is a ocean out there. AI is now become all pervasive, so is data science. There are full-fledged MBA courses in data science, so obviously taking 35 minutes to cover this topic would be a slap on this such an important topic, right? So obviously I'll not be able to do complete justice to this. I will try to touch upon it as briefly as I could because it is also emerging trends in marketing and how AI is and data science is getting into the way we look at it, even though we don't know it because AI and data science is all the back end and we just get the output of it. But we perhaps the entire purpose of this session is to make you people aware is that where marketing is going, the journey that marketing technology is taking, and how it will impact the lives of all marketers, not just digital marketers, right? So I will move to the first slide. After this is the just one second. I hope you can see my presentation. The first slide, obviously, these are the 5 topics that I will touch upon in today's presentation. The use of videos in marketing, AI in marketing, obviously, because that's a headline, impact of data science, again, a sub-headline, hyper-personalization, AI and data science is helping us in hyper-personalization and the social media evolution. That's very important to understand because there are so many things which is happening out there which we perhaps see on a day-to-day basis, but we don't know what is happening. We don't identify that and how it can impact marketing. So I thought I should touch upon all these 5 topics in a manner so that people get curious and try to investigate further because these subjects have to be investigated further, more research, reading has to be done for us to get to know about it. I cannot do justice as I repeated in the first part of this presentation that I cannot do justice in 35 minutes that have been given to me. So going forward, videos. You might all be reading today that we are in the world of Twitter, we are in the world of Facebook. News that you consume are through online. We do not read earlier. The newspapers used to have very lengthy opinion pieces. People have stopped reading. The reading habits have gone down. As you know, a lot of bookshops have closed down. Books are no longer just available offline, printed format. People and Goodreads and stuff like that. That is the evolution which has happened. So what is happening is because of the clutter, people's attention span has also gone down. Gartner had done a kind of a survey about 7-8 years back, where they in all the research reports in their library, they had put some dummy text. Dummy text could be anything. It could be digital Vidya also. A few of those words came in all their reports, randomly placed across the reports. Not out of their thousands and thousands of readers and maybe millions of readers, only 2 people got back saying that, hey, some of your reports have some errors. Only 2 people. They did this for almost 3 months. So you can see the readership obviously is going down. So to overcome this problem, marketers have now gone into videos. Content marketing is going the video way. You can make inexpensive videos. You don't have to go for expensive shoots. You don't have to go for locations and all that stuff. You can do videos today in an amateur format. The kind of cameras that you have today, you can make very compelling content, and that helps in creating videos. So how does videos impact your marketing plan? First of all, it gives consumer attention. Remember the videos that you has gone viral. This what is goes viral in WhatsApp. The memes which comes it becomes more powerful when the TikTok revolution which is happening. Video is grabbing more attention, more eyeballs. So it is a way to engage audience better. It's higher engagement. Earlier, the videos that you had, you couldn't make them watch just a segment of the video. You couldn't clip it down. The technology was not there. Today you can do. So if you have a 2 minute video, you can make a clip which is in part available only. You can make sure that certain audience can see only the first part, certain audience can see the middle, certain audience can see the end. You can do all those permutations and combinations because the technology is available and that gives higher engagement. Okay, because they say, right, what you read, you retain a lot less than what you see. Better video technology. Today we have tools like Vidya, which basically can capture the leads coming out of videos. So earlier the problem was people used to watch videos on YouTube and you could not find out who watched them. So that was a lead which went down the drain. Today with lead capturing tools from videos, you can capture these leads and hence it becomes a great way for taking the prospective customer in the sales journey. Better optimization opportunities. Nowadays, just like you have app SEO and obviously we had SEO earlier, you also have video SEOs. So you can, based on the search volumes that is happening online, you can serve a segment or a clip of the video only and not the complete video itself. And you can also judge at what point of time these people are exiting a video. And at that point of time, you can give a call to action for them to get more involved with your video. Similarly, because of the seamlessness of technology and the seamlessness of use of personal computers with mobile phones, obviously videos are being shared a lot on mobile phones. People consume the online content on their mobile phones and not so much on their PCs. So what is happening is technologies like autoplay, videos being silent and stuff like that. You are able to consume videos on your mobile phone and hence it's becoming all pervasive. And obviously videos, as we all know, results in much higher rate of shares than on social media than non-videos. So that is one of the big journeys that is happening. We do not realize it. We watch a lot of videos, but content marketers are creating a lot more videos than just written content. Just to give you an example, in my own organization, last year we created about 60 videos. This year we've already crossed 100 videos. So that is the kind of jump that we have done over the last 1 year. Now the big elephant in the room, use of AI in marketing. Uh, Let me spend a little time on AI and data science. First, let me explain what is AI and what is data science. Whatever I need to have for because this is intermingling. Data science is the science behind which you can get insights out of the data that you have. There are a lot of scientific parameters and algorithms and technologies which allow you to extract patterns, extract insights, extract information from raw data that is generated in tons and tons across the globe. That is the science, that is the data science, right? Earlier it was an art. People used to base their gut, they used to use their instinct and gut feel to take marketing decisions. Today it is mostly based on science and information that is available to all marketers. That is data science. Now to use technology to autonomize this process of extracting information and then taking action on that is artificial intelligence. Again, I'm saying to use technology to autonomize this process of extracting insights and take action on these insights is artificial intelligence. So data science is the science behind behind which you can get the information. And artificial intelligence is the technology to extract insights and take actions. Right. So basically, artificial intelligence is replacing what a human being would do if they had the information that would come out of a data science project. I hope you got that difference. Now, what is the use of AI? Obviously, there are, I mean, I can go on and on and on, maybe till the next century, but I'll still not be able to cover it. That is just my limited knowledge. My knowledge of AI would be far limited than the real true blue practitioners. But I will try to touch upon how AI is shaping marketing in a way that we have not thought about. First of all, it is helping in sales forecasting. Remember about people who have been in sales and sales forecasting, people based on some market survey and a certain amount of percentage in the growth, the organization is to forecast how much sales they can predict. That was a basic, that was more of an art, a gut feel. Today, AI takes in data from various sources, economic parameters, job losses, what's happening, all the time spent on the website, all this data is crunched, okay, crunched through data science and insights are provided. Based on that, they use algorithms, which is part of AI, to say that what will be the sales forecast possible for the next year or two. That becomes far more accurate and hence decisions are more incisive in these cases. Sales forecasting is an important part of AI. Then the next part which I wanted to take is that you get deeper understanding of your customer. What does it? How does it do? Yes, social media and online allows you to get deeper understanding of a customer. The time spent on the net, which website they are going to, what bookstores you are going to, because they are all digital footprints. You go offline shopping, even that data is captured. All this data is then fed through this data science AI engine to get the understanding of your customer that you want. Now, obviously, there are a lot of underlying layers behind all these things, which I won't be able to cover in the time that I have. But you can get that you can what I'm trying to say is that you can understand the person that you're going to talk to for your marketing programs far better using AI than you would say earlier when we were not using AI. uh, Optimize digital advertising campaigns. Yes, normally what we used to do is that people search based on keywords and then an ad pops out on that keyword. That was a traditional way of digital advertising. Now you all the patterns that I spoke about in my earlier 2 points, all that is crunched and then the ads are served which are more incisive. For example, you have searched for black pants. Okay, in the morning you want to buy some black pants, right? By evening you might get an alert on your SMS or on your WhatsApp saying that hey, we have 30% discounts on black pants. Remember, you might have not gone to the service provider's website who has sent you that message, but he has been able to track you on the online in a way. Yes, it is talking. He has been able to track you online and be able to give you a very targeted message. That is called programmatic advertising. Create detailed consumer profiles. Corollary to the point number two, you more you understand your customer, the better you better can you target your programs. Let's take an individual like yourself. When in the morning you wake up perhaps and you watch some entertainment videos and about film stars and stuff like that. So you are classified as an entertainer. Then after some time, you perhaps read some financial newspapers. You're classified as a business professional. Then after some time, you'll read something related to your job. You're classified as a technocrat. Each of these personas is then judged and studied, and accordingly, ads and marketing campaigns are served to you. So that this conversation, remember, is happening real time. That is as point number 5. Remember on Twitter, you reply to someone on some Airtel or something about Airtel. You might not be tagging them. Automatically, somebody from Airtel will almost immediately come and respond to you. Why? Because the real-time data is fed to someone that engine or the bot is responding to you without any time loss. That you have seen in real life, and this more and more such exercises are happening through AI. Product and content recommendations. Obviously, we have known enough of this. Amazon is the expert on that. You buy a product, 5 other product recommendations given. They use AI. Remember LinkedIn, when you get a message on your message box, you get 3 4 options. That is AI. You read a piece of content somewhere on Netflix, you watch a video, 5 6 other movies are served to you. That is AI. All this data is being crunched and served to you using data science and AI. Visual search. We search for images, say for example, we type Priyanka Chopra. You'll get all images of Priyanka Chopra and Nick Jonas. What if you just say all the visuals which comes close, if you type say Arbaz Khan, and you will also get Roger Federer. Why? Because they look similar. There's a joke going on that they are looking similar, right? So that is a visual search. It is not searching based on the keyword. It is searching for all visuals which are similar to the visuals that you have searched for. Right? There's a difference. So you have searched for Armani shirts. So all shirts which look similar to that particular shirt, in look and feel, will be served to you. So that is called visual search, and it's being enabled by social media, by AI. And lastly, social listening and sentiment analysis, uh, not so much applicable to the B2B companies. Social listening is a tool to understand what is being talked about your brand on the social media. Tons and tons of conversation is being created. You make patterns out of that and score them, find out whether they are positive or negative. There is a tool which has been created by some company in India where they are listening to the sales conversations that the salesperson is having with the prospective customer, and based on that conversation, they are serving the relevant information that is required. Okay, so that is how AI is being used in marketing. There are many other use cases. I identified only 8 or 10 of them. When I was doing my research, I could identify almost 30 of them. So I just chose about 10 of them to talk about it today. Application of data science. Now, this is very tricky. Whatever I'm talking about here in this slide is actually captured in the slide earlier. Okay, so as I said, data science is a science behind which the data insights is extracted, and AI is the action-taking algorithms for which we see in real life, right? Data is a science. So again, user profiling I spoke about. There are many ways you can profile the users, their browsing habits, their apps that they download, the shops that they visit, the movies that they watch, everything is captured and that user persona is created. Based on the user persona, you serve products and markets. Okay, improving pricing strategy. Now, how many of us have seen that when we go to yatra.com and buy a ticket and we look for a ticket and we come back later, normally we see that the price has gone up, right? So what we do is we try to do incognito and go to some other website, and we see the prices change dynamically. So that is one way of pricing, right? That is very, everybody knows. But imagine that yourself in a situation where uh, based on patterns like what time of the day people fly, which time of the day. For example, today if you buy Diwali tickets in any country, just 4 months in advance, 3 months in advance, you still get it more expensive than you had bought it 7 days before. Why? Because patterns have told them that look, this is the time people buy tickets. Okay, so and accordingly the prices are dynamically fluctuated. Okay, according to so pricing has become extremely dynamic. They're also able to predict what is the maximum price that you can pay for a particular product. Based on that, the pricing will be served. So, for example, you might see a price on Amazon for X amount of rupees. When you go to Flipkart, you'll see that you get a price which is different. It will be more or less. Why? Because they've been able to predict that you are willing to pay a little bit more than this price, okay, or a little bit less than this price, and that's the price that will be served based on data science. This is what the marketing of pricing is happening. And lead scoring. So let me first explain what is a lead to those people who perhaps don't know. Lead is a marketing qualified lead. Basically, you have sent out a marketing campaign and you have got a response from a person or from a company who could be your prospective customer. You would obviously not classify a company who would never buy your product. So there's a possibility that this company can buy your product. So that becomes a lead. So you responded to your marketing campaign. But what is scoring? A lead comes into the system and you say, okay, fine, this is a lead. But you have found out that okay, he had come to your campaign, responded to your campaign earlier. He had gone to an event earlier. he had downloaded a piece of content earlier. So his for each connect with the organization that he's having, you score that account, you score that company, and you say that look, this account has a higher propensity to buy from me than the other accounts, and you reclassify them. Then you say this account with higher scores, you give more attention. Account with lower scores, you give less attention. And if you give more attention to higher scores, the chances of them converting is higher. So that's how lead nurturing and lead scoring happens using data science. Again, I've just picked up 3 use cases of data science. There are multiple uses of over there, and I would urge you to read up over on this, because data science is a huge, vast ocean out there. Then hyper personalization. This is a very interesting topic. Uh, you know, imagine yourself. You go to ndtv.com to see a look, see click some links and some videos and all those stuff. 5 minutes sitting on the next sofa, your wife goes to the same website, types www.ndtv.com. He sees a completely different website. Then your cousin goes within the same time goes to www.ndtv.com and sees again a completely different website, totally different website from all 3 of you are watching. Why? Because NDTV has been able to judge the pattern that you have, the persona that you have, and serves a website which is most relevant to you, so that you click more on the links. That is the concept of personalization. So today, there's something called personalization, and there's something called hyper personalization. Personalization is an email when you apply when you write an email, Mr. Ditru Chakraborty. You grade, you oh wow, thank you. Hyper personalization becomes Mr. Ditru Chakraborty. Last time you had gone, you had visited Goa and stayed at the Candolium Hotel. You get surprised. Hey, how did you know that? Because why have I known that? Because I've tracked your journey, I track the fact that you have booked something maybe on booking.com, and based on that, I have that information and I've been sending an email. Is this violation of privacy? Maybe it is. Is this against transparency? Maybe it is. But that's the way the world is going, and it's very difficult to prevent this kind of interference which is happening. So in hyper personalization, we start off with data collection, which I just spoke to you in the previous slide. You simplify it through the simplest form of personalization. A website personalization example that I gave you is an example of that. You also go for a little bit basic personalization, like an email campaign that I spoke about. Then you go deeper dive, understanding so well that you, for each point, for example, you are driving from Bombay to Goa, okay, and you might have seen that if you put on a Google Maps, you will see some messages coming from restaurant around that, right? That is personalization, and taking it down further, it will become hyper personalization. It is also a concept called context-aware computing, which means that the computers are aware of the context that you're in, and accordingly they serve messages and marketing campaigns to you. So after all this is done, then you automate the marketing tools through different tools that is available. Today, there are tools which use AI, like Demandbase, Engagio, Terminus, who does what would a team of say 50 people would be doing 10 years back based on the data that is available. Because it was so many people, obviously there was no consistency in the input. With the tools coming in the place, you are able to get the information out and take actions on them very rapidly. You wouldn't have real-time conversations with customers if human beings were having that conversation instead of chats. Chats do not go to lunch, do not have breakfast, do not go to sleep. Moment it's triggered, they will have a conversation with the prospect. So I'm moving to the next slide, which is the evolution of social media. Is my last slide of this presentation, but at the same time, I'd like to talk about, since it is emerging trends in marketing, I would like to talk about the importance of engagement. Facebook today, Instagram today, score your messages that you. For example, your friend has written something on the political scenario of India, and you write a response. If they judge based on the algorithm whether this is an engaging comment or not, and they will put it up in the scoring. For example, if that message has 20 messages, if your message is more engaging, it will be seen in the top, whereas others will go below you. That is automatically done. You will not realize it. So that is so engaging conversations become very critical. Okay, more engaging a conversation, and they use algorithms to judge that. Okay, so you must have seen on Twitter sometimes you made a communal statement and it's automatically deleted or warned because why the algorithms have spotted a trend and then said no, hey, this is against Twitter policy, please delete it. Rise of groups, very important. Facebook did a big campaign in New York. I saw it recently where groups were created, were like-minded groups, not broad groups like marketing groups or finance groups. No, people who like to go canoeing in the rainforest, people who are waterman pen collectors, people who are quizzers of movie quizzers. So these are small groups, and these communities have been created. Based on this community, you are able to interact and talk and act on them. Transparency is a very critical, it's become a very important part. We all heard of Cambridge Analytica and what they went through. Facebook also had the open.org, whatever, there was a big hue and cry on that. Internet is, so there was, then there's GDPR, which is Global Data Protection Rules, which is applicable across the European Union. Again, which all of them are making you restrict non-private conversation. Everything is private. Transparency is very critical. Companies, customers want to know how transparent the company is. So transparency is like becoming a very important part of social media, and hence, when brands are there on social media, they need to be open about everything about themselves. They cannot be closed. And remember, it is affecting everybody. Film stars, if they're hiding something, they're losing movies. If they are anti something which is not popular, they're losing movies. You recently saw Amir Khan lose the brand ambassadorship for Snapdeal because of a statement that he made 2 3 years back. All this is happening because transparency is very important. Influencer marketing. I will quickly go through this point because I just have about 8 minutes with me. So influencer marketing, every industry, every product category, there are influencers. And influencers does not mean celebrities only. Rujita Divekar, for example, is an influencer on diets, right? Or there's a handler on Twitter called Gabbar Singh who has a 1 million followers. He influences a lot of people, young minds he can influence. So he works with Reckitt and Benixer. So influencers need not always be celebrities. They need not always be paid, and once you have a critical mass of followers, say 10,000 people on Twitter, you can use that followership to become an influencer. People will listen to what you have to say. And when they become too big, brands then go for smaller influencers called micro influencers to help them get their brand. Sometimes they're paid, sometimes they are not. It is depends upon what kind of engagement that brands want to have with their customers. Social selling, this is obviously not a new concept. This has been going on for years now. You use LinkedIn to approach customers and you sell a service. Sometimes the sale happens on LinkedIn itself, on Twitter and all that stuff. Social media is a very popular way to get business. It has been, research has found out that 55% of all consumer buying decisions happens on social media, which means they either decide to buy when they've seen that ad on social media, or they from social media, they go to somewhere and then they buy it. So 55% of the decision happens. So there's a huge chunk of decisions happening on social media. Stories. Now, Snapchat was the first one to create this tool called Stories, where you create a brand story. Now, Facebook, Instagram, everybody has stories where you create small little story about yourself. You personally can create a story. It's like a podcast, and you use that feature to drive your brand. Uh, Finally, there are 2 3 more points. Live videos, with Periscope of Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. You can now Instagram. You can now directly record your video on Instagram and post it. You don't have to record a video on your phone and then post it. You can directly use Instagram to do it. Live is what the way forward is. Remember the flight which landed on the Hudson, which was made into a movie called Sully, yeah, which was in 2008. But the first news of that crash landing on the river was leaked not only by television screens but by Twitter. So that is the power that live videos have on the social media. Messaging. Facebook has its own messaging app. They have bought WhatsApp, as you all know it. Messaging is a way of communication. Brands, more and more brands are getting onto the messaging app to reach out to their customers. They're able to create rich content and send it across to their customers. And augmented reality. Augmented reality is a new forward where you create the your persona and you create a situation which is basically what you would feel like. For example, what is augmented reality? How would you feel if you were perhaps driving a Rolls Royce? You might never be able to buy a Rolls Royce, but they can give you the feeling of driving a Rolls Royce. That is augmented reality, and that is being enabled by the evolution of social media. So overall, this is the kind of journey that we take. I am at the end of my presentation. I think I am almost right on time. So, me, if you have any questions or anything, please ask the audience.
Thank you, Dr. for your exciting presentation. I'll give you a breather and I'll launch a poll for the audience. And in the meantime, the audience can respond to the poll and also send us their questions. So I'm just launching the poll and uh, the audience can see it now on their screens. So I expect all of you to fill in the form, fill in the form actually, and the rest of you can start writing the questions, and I'll pick them one by one. 66% of you have voted. I expect others to vote as well. That helps us to improve the kind of
What is the
presentations or
poll?
webinars that we do. Yeah, I'm talking about the vote.
Okay.
72% voted now. I give 10 more seconds to you, and I expect others to as well. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So I'm closing the poll and we go directly to the question and answer session now. So Tarek, I'll be reading the questions for you. So the first question is from Stephen, and he says, uh, are there specific recommended tools that are that can be used by a specific industry to jumpstart their marketing initiatives? Do you know of any tools?
Uh, yeah. So, for example, email messaging, email marketing, right? For consumer industry, the banks, for example, there's a tool called SyncFred. SyncFred. Okay. And if it is for B2B, then it's something called like Pardot or Eloqua. Like a manufacturing company will be using a Pardot or Eloqua. So there are different tools for different industries, but not so much. For example, some tools are specifically for the banking industry, and some people are for the marketing professional. But most tools are based on the marketing, are based on the function and not so much as on the industry.
Right. Isha is saying, can you explain a bit more about augmented reality?
Okay, let's again. I give an example. Say, for example, you want to say you want to know how it feels like facing Wasim Makram, right? Obviously, he will not bowl to you. So there are tools, okay, which you can use. The primitive ones you can use on social media, but you can use perhaps the those goggle kind of thing which you put on your face, and you can hold a bat, and you will see Wasim Akram bowling, and exactly how it will you will feel like when the ball comes to you. Okay, so you are remember you are not facing Wasim Akram in reality. Okay, he is not boring to you, but you will get a feeling or you get the experience exactly what you would say what Sachin Tendulkar would perhaps feel when he is facing a Wasim Akram. So that is augmented reality, because reality is augmented. It is not exactly what is happening out there, but you get an experience similar to that.
Right. Satyajit has a question. What are the sites that you would recommend to learn more about the impact of data science on online marketing? So one of the websites that I can recommend on personal level is Vidya. We write a lot on data marketing, AI, and we'll be writing more in-depth details on this. So this is a site to look out for. And Vidya, can you add a few more?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to learn courses and all this stuff, I'm sure Digital Vidya themselves have Coursera, Udemy. There are websites for courses for learning on AI and data science. SP Jain has a good course on data science. But if you want to know websites, then Marketing Profs is a good beginning for understanding data science and AI. Marketing Profs, PROFS, I would say is a big, good beginning, because first of all, it is free. Most of the material is free over there. But after some time, you might have to invest some money to get more information out there. And so, as a site, I would recommend Marketing Profs.
Great. So, how is AR related with AI? Is it related at all? And on a marketing level, how can you think about this?
Okay, augmented reality is a technology. Okay, AI helps that. AI, as I told you, what it does is it makes everything autonomous. Ultimate goal of AI is to make humans redundant and let computers do what human beings are supposed to do. Let's take the example of a recent newspaper, news clipping which have come up, which said that Microsoft is investing $1 billion in AI Open Lab. And what is the vision of this AI Open Lab? The AI Open Lab is saying that we are investing in technology which will eventually mimic the human brain, which means machines will think like humans, which is what we see in movies. That is the ultimate vision of AI, right? Or driverless cars, AI. Augmented reality is a technology which takes you to a level where there, but you're experiencing something similar to that. Okay. Say, for example, a roller coaster ride. You're taking the roller coaster ride. So there are two different things. AI can help give you a better experience in augmented reality. AI can help you do that. But AI and augmented reality are not two same things.
Right. Mahintesh has a confusion. What is I think the confusion is regarding AI and data science itself. So we think, what is better to use in marketing? Is it AI or data science?
Okay, I maybe have missed out, maybe you missed out what I said. Data science is the science behind extracting information out of raw data that is available all across the internet, right? Based on this data, what you can do is human beings and can go through this data and pour it and take scientific measures and take some actions. Instead of human beings doing that, machines are doing that. If when machines are doing that, that becomes part of AI. AI is making it autonomous. It is making it faster, more accurate. So data science is the foundation on which AI works. Got it? Data science is the foundation. AI is the actions that you take on that foundation.
Tia has a question specific to her industry. She's saying, how can AI play a role in FMCG? If you can give her a few examples, especially with regards to packaged consumer goods sector.
Yeah, so let's take example of a retail outlet like say Big Bazaar. Now, for example, you are, you can, you're picking up a biscuit package, then you're picking up farsan, then you're picking up cashew nuts, then you're picking up juice. You're doing that very randomly. You think, and because you're picking it up and all this stuff. But through AI, they can judge if you buy a packet of juice, what is the most likely product that you will buy next? And based on that understanding, they will place products just next to the juice counter. Because sometimes what happens is these products are on impulse. You do not go and plan to buy juice, maybe, right? You plan to buy a staple products for your household, the grocery items. These are impulse products. The biscuits, the farsan, the cashews, and all those stuff. These are impulse products. If you don't see them at that point of time, you will not go and buy, isn't it? So what happens is through the understanding of your behavior, through various patterns that they have judged you on, they will place products close to your shopping aisles so that you can pick it up impulse. You will feel, it is just placed over there. But no, there's a science behind it. There's a lot of analysis behind it, based on which they give you that. So that is one example. Okay. Now let's take another example. Let's take Mintra. Okay, Mintra is a consumer website which sells clothes, right? So you buy you have browsed through a red colored pattern tops, right? And then you have browsed through green colored pattern tops, right? You have not bought any of them as yet. So what they do is, what AI does is, they automatically match red color with some other color trouser and serve that in your browsing list. So you get, hey, you were perhaps never thinking of buying a trouser. Okay, you're never thinking of, you're perhaps even buying a green colored top. Now with this combination which has come up, and they have done it through your judging your behavior on the website, they are able to serve you products which you then are willing to buy because you have been. It's like what will happen if you go to a sales counter in a retail outlet. What happens in a retail outlet? You say, yes, sari dikhao, show me this sari, show me this dress, show me this one. Okay, and based then that salesperson gets an understanding what you want, and then he takes out those things which he feels they have a high chances of you buying. Human beings, now machine doing that for you online. That is AI.
Great. So there are people who are asking the same questions again and again with regards to learning data science from blogs. So the two main resources that we discussed were the blog of Digital Vidya, which is going to get an uplift soon, and the second one is Marketing Drops. You can learn about data science, digital marketing, and artificial intelligence in tandem, and how to use that exactly through these three blogs. Coming to the next question. Uh, how do you exactly track leads from videos? Is there a tool for it? Mohini is it's a
How do
question
you?
already.
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, yeah. The question is, Mohini is asking if there is a tool to track leads from videos and how that is it done exactly.
Oh yeah, there I can mention one tool called Vidya, Vidyard. It's a Canadian company. They allow you to capture leads from videos. They do that. They allow that. Vidyard, Vidyard. There may be other tools, but I know of only one.
Do you know about any other programming advertising tools
Oh,
that
programmatic, there are too many of them. I would urge you to go to g2crowd.com. There are too many tools to name: SEMrush, Sprout Social, HubSpot, I mean Radian 6. There are too many out there, Optimize D, and to make a sense of it. So there are maybe 150 odd tools. But I would urge you to go to G2 Crowd for that. G2. G2 is the numeral 2 and crowd.
All right, Satyaji wants to learn data science and is asking if he needs any coding knowledge to implement data science in marketing, especially.
No, you don't need coding knowledge, but if you have some understanding of R and Python and machine learning, you become a better data scientist. But you don't need to be an expert at that. But it's like this, if you are if you are marketing technology or if you're selling technology, if you have a little bit understanding of coding and all that stuff, you become a better technical marketer, right? So you don't need to have it, but if you have a little bit of it, you become a better one.
So Habis has a question. He's saying he's already doing a course in digital marketing and he wants to pursue the field. But since data science is a growing field and they kind of interchange, so should he pursue learning this data science as well, or should he stick to learning digital marketing?
Oh, well, that perhaps decision you can best judge, but yes, data science is the future. Too much data is data scientist and analytics is one of the hottest skill that will be there in now and in future. So if you are planning to study further and increase your skill sets, data science and analytics is the future, 100%.
So, Hamis, let me add something to it. We have a data analytics program as well at Digital Vidya, and that is especially for those people who are not from a technical background. So you almost do a lot of analysis of data and get out useful information from raw data using analytical tools like Excel and BI, and some other tools that you would be. So you can look at that course as well. So so let me go to the other questions. Shikha has another question. I What companies can I work with for my retail brand to enable artificial intelligence on my website? So I think she's asking about agencies or consulting partners who can work on this.
Okay, depending upon the size of your business, I would suggest for Publicity Sapient or Group M or these are or uh, uh, the other company. There are a lot of IT companies who does advertising in programmatic like Accenture, CTS. But it depends upon the size of your business, and there are very small companies which I would perhaps not be able to name because they are not very famous ones who can do that. But let me just tell fractal analytics, another one. Let me just say that data scientists and all this science is field that is not easy to um, be an expert at. So if you are a large agency, a large company, I would suggest you go for some of the names they just mentioned.
Right. There is Devotam who's asking about integrated course of AI and DM. So Devotam, if you're learning a digital marketing, you would have a module called web analytics, wherein you would have some data to work on. But having a combination of digital marketing and artificial intelligence in the same course, it's a rare sight. You will not probably find this if you want to pursue data science or artificial intelligence. You have to do it separately. It's kind of there are data scientists in the marketing team who help marketers, but yes, a digital marketing and a data science expert is do not integrate. They are two different people. I think uh, that's basically uh, that's basically it from my side. And these are the questions that we have. We are not getting any more questions. Uh, so I think this will be the end of the webinar. But before we close the webinar, and I'll ask, I'll have a chance for you to ask one more question, and I'll take the more serious one. And till I get that, I'll launch my final poll. So, uh, this is a poll to help us improve the forthcoming webinars. You might add your suggestions as to which. I think there's a problem with the poll. I think there's some problem. So, not. Shekha has a question. Uh, if there's some quick fix to make user personas, buyer personas. एक तरफ a quick fix method
Yes,
to
go ahead, can you?
yeah a quick fix method to make user personas or buyer personas.
Quick view message. Oh, there's no quick view message. The toughest part of marketing is to create the buyer and the user personas. But, I mean, because okay, let me tell you something. A person who buys a pair of shoe, same person is a different person when he buys a software, when he buys a toy, when he buys a car. Okay, he's the same person, but he's a different persona every single time. To understand a persona and create a persona is an art more than a science because science will give you the information, but so that it is.
All right, that is the end of the webinar, and I thank Tarak for, you know, giving sharing such insightful information with us, and I thank all the participants who attended the webinar and were patient enough to wait for the question and answer session and hold the decorum of the space. Till our next webinar, that's goodbye from my side, and thank you once again, Dipta.
Okay.